neighborhood in shock.
Uneasy, frightened, scared. I'm just glad I don't have family with little kids right now.
The SIU investigates a fatal officer-involved shooting. Harassment guilty plea strips cop of his rank.
I have 2 members deeply affected by this.
A Windsor police officer spared from termination. And locals fight for a voice, appealing Ontario's land tribunal planning powers.
It's created a divide in the community. It's created a divide on council. And that in and of itself tells me it's a bad process.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. The investigation is ongoing into an officer-related shooting that left 1 man dead. Ontario's Special Investigations Unit is looking into the events that led to a Windsor police officer killing a 35-year-old. CTV's Robert Lothian joins us now with more on this tonight.
Stefanie, the independent police watchdog is going to comb through the evidence and events that led to the death of a 35-year-old man. Police have now cleared the East Windsor neighborhood since a chaotic scene on Friday evening that stretched into Saturday. This marks the 2nd fatal police-involved shooting in Windsor in 2026. 6 members of the Special Investigations Unit spending Saturday on Roseville Garden Drive, piecing together the scene which spreads across multiple properties. Windsor police responding to the area around 6:30 p.m. Friday for reports of a man with a knife. The SIU says he was in an altercation with another man who was found injured in the area. Officers found the individual with the knife after he tried to flee on foot. The watchdog says a conducted energy weapon was deployed before officers discharged their firearms at the man. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced deceased. Residents in the area tell us it's a shock for the neighborhood.
Just pop, pop, pop. That's all I heard. And I thought, given the time of year it is, it's just fireworks. Turns out that was the shooting.
By the time I reached this point here, there were a couple of ambulances and somebody was being loaded into.
Uneasy, frightened, scared. I'm just glad I don't have family with little kids right now.
The SIU does not release timelines for when an investigation like this one would wrap up. In the meantime, they are asking anyone with relevant information, such as photos or videos of the scene, to contact the lead investigator. Stefanie.
Okay, Robert Lothian with our top story. Thank you, Robert. OPP have charged a 34-year-old person from Wallaceburg in connection to a fatal crash on Walpole Island in January of this year. Police say a pedestrian was struck on Tecumseh Road January 20th. Chloe Smith has been charged with failing to stop at an accident resulting in death. In other news, a Windsor police officer has been spared termination but demoted for sexual harassment of a female co-worker. A warning: this story contains content that will be upsetting to some of our viewers. Michelle Molesky joining us with this story tonight. Michelle.
Yeah, Stefanie, 42-year-old Joshua Smith went into today's hearing with the potential to be fired. That's what the Windsor Police Service had asked for. However, a hearing officer ruled that a demotion was more suitable for criminal harassment.
A demotion to 3rd class is significant.
Kent Rice is the president of the Windsor Police Association. He says the matter has been challenging.
I have 2 members deeply affected by this. I have a female communicator who's been a long time serving, really well liked and beloved member of the police service who's been victimized by this. And then I have another long-standing officer who's served to this community.
Joshua Smith pleaded guilty in provincial court to criminal harassment. He admitted to blocking his number before calling a female coworker 7 times in 2 weeks. Smith didn't say anything, but the victim could hear him moaning while he performed a sex act on himself. He was sentenced to 2 years probation, which triggered a penalty hearing under the Police Services Act. Windsor wanted him fired. The association fought for a demotion.
Officer Smith, as Mr. Walton explained, was very close to being terminated. However, did believe that it still felt in the realm that a significant penalty could be imposed and that he could still serve a meaningful function to the Windsor Police Service.
The hearing officer found Smith's guilty plea, remorse, along with counseling for alcohol abuse and medical treatment for ADHD, led him to believe Smith is unlikely to reoffend. He can now return to work, even though he cannot be at headquarters within half an hour of the victim's shift times.
There will be some difficulties associated with that. We are, however, a large organization, so we'll have to look and develop a safety plan for the officer involved, as well as the person who is affected by his actions.
Josh Smith's demotion equates to a $60,000 loss in salary over 2 years. Kent Rice says he will likely return to the patrol unit when he does eventually go back to work. Stephanie.
Okay, Michelle, thank you for this.
Welcome.
A center for those who are intellectually delayed is devastated after thieves broke in on Friday. Life Day Respite in Essex estimates about $7,000 worth of belongings were taken.
This bar was on the floor. The lights were off, so because nobody was here. And then when I walked in, I looked to the left, and that's when I seen all the hats were all over the floor, all the Wii games were all over the floor, and that's when I realized that somebody had been in here.
I think they certainly had a target for electronics, and a lot of food.
A lot of food.
A lot out of our big freezer and our little one. Just simple things, but I personally, I feel so violated. Here's where the tablets
normally
stay. And we had some fun wireless speakers and a couple toys for outside.
We have a lot of invisible disabilities. We have a member who's in a motorized chair. We have members that are intellectually delayed. We have all kinds of people that come to our program. I just don't understand why. Why would you do that to an organization like this? These people are already vulnerable, right? Their lives are already hard. So why do you have to do that to these people?
It's going to be rough for a couple weeks until we can get it all replaced, but we'll get it replaced. Never thought, we'd be in a position like this, but our community is amazing.
It is.
I said there's shaggy people, but friends and family, just community people, we don't even know.
No.
It's just, we're going to keep it good, and we're going to make it better.
In other news, the Ford government is going to court to try and prevent the release of documents about its blue license plates, which have since been scrapped. Government lawyers have applied for a judicial review of decisions by Ontario's Information and Privacy Commissioner, ordering the province to release documents in response to a Freedom of Information request by the Canadian press. The blue license plates were rolled out in early 2020, but the province stopped issuing them shortly after due to visibility issues. The province has not indicated a plan to get the plates that have already been issued off the roads. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for a first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight. Welcome back, Gary.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. Good evening to you. Good evening, folks. We are bright and sunny. It started off quite cloudy, in fact, early this morning, taking my dog Dino out, and then it just got clearer and warmer with temperatures in the mid-20s today, about 3 to 4 degrees above seasonal. Not much to see in terms of the satellite radar imagery. We're not likely to see any rain. The probability stats are less than 5% for at least the next 24 hours, and I think I'll extend that for the next few days. I'll break down this warm week forecast with loads of sunshine. I caution you, UV index is high. We'll talk all about it in moments. For now, though, I'll send it back inside to you at the desk. Stephanie?
A tentative agreement between Flexingate Lakeshore and Unifor Local 195 has been fully ratified. The members voted 77% in favor of the 3-year contract. A previous ratification vote was rejected with only 49.7% in favor. Local 195 President Emile Nabout says they're pleased this deal was approved. It includes improvements to wages, benefits, retirement benefits, and signing bonuses. Unifor represents 166 workers at the plant on Patillo Road near County Road 42. The plant manufactures metal and plastic automotive components. Construction on Front Road in LaSalle is moving full speed ahead as the town pushes to fast-track a $7.9 million reconstruction project by bringing in 2 separate crews. But while the work is moving faster, frustration is also growing among residents and businesses dealing with traffic headaches and ongoing disruptions. CTV's Bob Belichico joins us now to explain. Bob.
Well, Stefanie, the cause and effect of this project is being felt from far and wide, from businesses here on Front Road to residents a kilometer away.
If it wasn't for that, we'd be doing nothing.
For months, a side entrance off Kenwood Boulevard has been a major lifeline keeping Renee's Auto Service operating during storm sewer reconstruction on Front Road in LaSalle.
We dropped about 80% of our business. In the springtime, it's better than the fall, but we're still down quite a bit.
LaSalle Mayor Crystal Malash says the construction crew has done their best to ensure access to each business.
They have been really helpful in that sense as to allowing us to use it if they're not around. If they're like close by, then obviously we can't.
The effects of the reconstruction has seen north-south traffic move to Matchett, which has caused backups and headaches for many, including this Matchett Road resident who didn't want to appear on camera.
Anytime between 3 and 7 o'clock, it's almost impossible to get out of the driveway.
Sometimes they're bumper to bumper, and you've got to wait to get in or out of your driveway.
One resident tells CTV News impatient motorists can be heard honking and yelling at vehicles.
Absolutely, the sooner the better. I can't wait.
I'm happy to say within the next week or so, maybe 2 weeks, we should see the Laurier area, really everything south of Laurier, fully opening.
Malash says a little bit of relief is on the horizon. Laurier Drive is about to reopen.
We'll see some major improvements with the traffic flow there in just a couple weeks.
According to Malash, reconstruction will then move north of Laurier to Riom, all of which is expected to be complete sometime in late July. Now on Tuesday, Council will discuss road closures for the Strawberry Festival Parade on June 13th, which will be held once again at the Vollmer Complex.
We've never had it right there since we've moved it to the Vollmer, so this is quite a different change for us, and we might love it. I don't know. It's going to be a change for our residents who always enjoyed it off Front Road.
Once the work on Front Road is complete, attention will turn to Malden Road.
So on 26, you'll see some bridge work. You'll see utility replacements and things like that going along Malden Road. But the major construction will now happen in 27 to allow us time to fully open in Front Road.
Now, Malden will have 3 lanes, 1 dedicated turn lane, an enhanced bike lane, and sidewalk as well. That project, according to Mayor Malash, will take around 8 months to complete. Stefanie?
Okay, thank you for this, Bob. Turning to Windsor City Hall, where council is asking the province to restore residents' ability to appeal planning decisions to the Ontario Land Tribunal. The move follows another heated development debate where councillors say they're caught between residents and concerns and planning rules that may not hold up on appeal. CTV's Sanjay Maru joins me now with more on this tonight. Sanjay.
That's right, Stephanie. We've seen this at council again and again. Residents raise concerns, but councillors say their hands are tied since developers would likely win at the Ontario Land Tribunal anyway. Now, after the tribunal overturned council on a 6th Concession Road townhouse project, one councillor says it's time for a change.
It's created a divide in the community. It's created a divide on council. And that in and of itself tells me it's a bad process.
Windsor City Council says residents deserve the ability to appeal certain planning decisions to the Ontario Land Tribunal. This after the tribunal approved a townhouse development on 6th Concession Road despite local traffic and safety concerns, with city staff saying they could not find an expert planner to defend council's position. But councillors say the bigger issue, residents come to council expecting their elected representatives to help them, but developers can still appeal to the OLT. Meanwhile, residents have lost that right. The ask is largely symbolic, however, with little expectation the province will act.
I know they're not going to change. I know darn well they're not going to change. It's a good soundbite. We can ask.
Also today, Council approving a $500,000 staycation event series using tourism reserve funding. The goal, to give people more affordable things to do close to home as travel costs rise.
We're promoting tourism, so anything that would encourage residents, families, anyone to come down and support staying in Windsor and spending their money in Windsor would be eligible for this type of funding.
The end of today's meeting saw Mayor Drew Dilkens face questions over his recent letter regarding comments made by the head of the Welcome Center Shelter for Women and Families, who said the shelter requested an extra $192,000 a year to expand bed capacity, but was denied. Today, Dilkens standing by his letter, which opened with, quote, 2026 is an election year. Funny things happen in election years. The mayor saying the shelter's funding was not cut, but held steady, and that the request came after this year's budget had already been set.
It was really odd behavior to do a drive-by smear on that type of thing with your funder, right? That's not the way. You don't go out and do public announcements that we asked for money and the city said no and try and make your largest funder look bad when the facts of the matter don't match what they're saying.
And late this afternoon, the head of the women's shelter responded to Dilkens' letter. You can find that on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. As for today's motion on development appeals, we should note it does not give council more power over approvals or rejections. It only asks the province to restore residents' ability to appeal certain planning decisions to the Ontario Land Tribunal. And even with that right restored, residents could still be denied, but that rejection would come from the tribunal, not council. And Stefanie, speaking of development, council today also approving the rezoning for a proposed 6-story, 90-unit development on Howard Avenue, this near Holborn Street. Despite concerns over height, sewer capacity, and the condition of Howard Avenue, we'll have more on that in Happening Now. Stefanie.
Okay, a lot of coverage there. Sanjay, thank you for this. Now, this does take us to our question of the day. Should residents have the right to appeal local planning decisions to the Ontario Land Tribunal? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. On Friday, we asked if you know the rules of using an e-scooter. Out of almost 1,000 votes, 81% of respondents say no, they do not. Amherstburg's Integrity Commissioner has dismissed a conflict of interest complaint against Deputy Mayor Chris Gibb and Councillor Lyndon Crane. The complaint alleged the two should have declared a conflict during a February council discussion on sponsoring the Chamber of Commerce Business Excellence Awards. But the commissioner ruled neither councillor had a direct or indirect financial interest, despite their employer and business being chamber members. Council later approved the $500 sponsorship, allowing both men to participate in discussion and voting. This marks the second complaint against Crane this term, after he was also cleared in March over a call with Premier Doug Ford tied to the Amherstburg Diageo bottling plant closure. And Amherstburg Council is being asked tonight to approve a grand opening for the Waterfront Festival Plaza this summer. Closed for more than 5 years, the site underwent environmental cleanup and redevelopment. A proposed 3-day celebration from July 31st to August 2nd is in the works. Town staff are asking for $30,000 for the event, which would include family activities, vendors, and live entertainment. The project may include a partnership with Caldwell First Nations to develop a sculpture for the plaza. Now, do you have thoughts or comments on a story? Text us at 10400. You can also submit photos and videos to that number as well. Still ahead on Windsor's News Leader, Prime Minister Mark Carney is calling Alberta's separation talk a dangerous bluff and warns of the risks for Canada. A W5 investigation exposing a major airport drug smuggling scheme is now making waves in Ottawa. Details when we return. And tomorrow, Windsor honors a piece of its past, recognizing a new riverfront landmark as the heart of the city's legacy park. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Prime Minister Mark Carney is calling Alberta Premier's referendum question a, quote, dangerous bluff, one that reminds him of the UK's Brexit vote. Last week, Daniel Smith announced that a referendum in October would include a question about whether or not the province should pursue separation. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
That is a very dangerous bluff.
A stark 6-word warning from Prime Minister Mark Carney for Alberta Premier Danielle Smith.
In these separation issues, it is often advanced that vote for this and it's a free option. Vote for this and we will strengthen our hand in a future negotiation. That is a very dangerous bluff.
Unprompted today, the Prime Minister drew on his experience as the Governor of the Bank of England during the Brexit crisis. When asked what he thinks of the referendum question Smith is putting to Albertans this fall.
I saw firsthand what happened in the United Kingdom when the view was vote for this, it'll be soft, and then we'll negotiate, etc., and they ended up, and they're still 10 years later trying to undo what people didn't think they were voting for, but what they ended up having.
Carney's words of caution about understanding the risk of using this referendum as a bargaining chip was met with pushback from Premier Smith, who has called it an exercise in democracy.
I'm just trying to get a gauge of where Albertans are at. I think that that's respectful of the process that 700,000 people went through in signing their petitions.
That sentiment echoed by the separatist Bloc Québécois.
Still up to Albertans to decide, and definitely not to another government to decide on what if the question should have been asked in the first place.
Conservatives said Carney's comments do nothing to address Albertans' concerns.
He has no right to wag his finger. That makes it worse.
As her province contemplates whether to vote to remain or pursue a path towards independence, Smith also said today she'll keep working with Carney towards a stronger Alberta within a united Canada. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
The findings of a recent W5 investigation came up in the House of Commons today. The exclusive investigation revealed gaping security holes at Canada's major airports, allowing illegal drugs to flow into the country. CTV's Graham Richardson has the latest.
It is a chilling, organized scheme uncovered by CTV's W5.
They opened up the bag. It was stuffed full of drugs.
Tags switched on checked bags, unwitting Canadians' luggage tags used to carry drugs in different bags, smuggled into the airport by corrupt employees.
You're all being detained for transporting narcotics.
The W5 investigation raised in the House of Commons Monday by the opposition.
I walk out through the terminal doors, nobody checks you. That's from a W5 investigation exposing organized crime using travelers' baggage to traffic drugs through Pearson Airport. Given the Transport Minister's silence on this brazen security failure, if the Liberals won't be taking this seriously now, why would Canadians believe they ever will with our security?
At least 6 arrests related to luggage tag swapping have been made by the RCMP. We continue to invest in law enforcement, Mr. Speaker.
This story has gone viral nationally and internationally, not only because of how many cases W5 uncovered, 17, but also because of the simple questions it raised. As passengers take off their shoes and belts and hand over water bottles at security, why aren't employees scrutinized?
We joke you could walk out carrying a cruise missile, end quote.
And it's not just Canada. These women from Brazil detained in Germany for over a month. Their bags were switched and caught on camera. They were blamed for carrying drugs. This video eventually freed them. One of the most challenging parts about this is how vulnerable passengers are when they check their bags. Because of this investigation, many of them will now look much more closely when they arrive. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Where the FIFA Cup goes, fans are sure to follow, and Toronto businesses are preparing for a surge of international tourists. But will they be ready in time? CTV's Heather right now on the last-minute preparations in the city.
Extra TVs are being hung up at Fox & John's, a restaurant and bar in Toronto's Liberty Village.
We're adding TVs basically anywhere we could fit them.
Bar manager Samantha Besteo says World Cup preparations began 6 months ago and include the hiring of additional staff and a new streamlined menu to help serve the packed crowd expected here throughout the tournament.
It's going to be such a fun time here just in the city as a whole. But it comes with a lot of nervousness and we kind of don't know fully what to expect. So we're kind of going into it super excited, positive spirits, kind of ready for anything though.
Liberty Village is used to hosting big crowds. The neighborhood is the unofficial gathering spot for fans of Toronto FC. But the crowds expected during the World Cup will likely eclipse anything this area has seen before. For the roughly 10,000 people who live here, the tournament brings excitement and some trepidation.
Definitely going to be busy, but I think it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of good vibes.
With 45,000 fans expected to pack Toronto Stadium for each match, in addition to the fan festivals located nearby, the foot traffic through this part of town will be a big boost for businesses.
It's going to be interesting, I guess. There's going to be crowds of people. There's a lot of hype behind it.
Kevin McDougall owns Merci Mon Ami with his wife, a restaurant and catering business. It has survived the economic crisis of 2008 and the COVID pandemic. He says the economic climate right now is just as tough, and the World Cup will be a big help.
So the margins are tighter than they ever were. So something like this definitely will help increase volume, which increase, revenue. So your margins are still tighter, but you're getting more revenue.
So the World Cup kicks off in less than 3 weeks here in Toronto, with the city expecting more than 300,000 visitors over the course of the tournament. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A landmark property in LaSalle is now up for sale. The former St. Paul's Roman Catholic Church on Malden Road has been listed for $1.1 million. The 13,000 square foot property includes a church space, a residence, and a large basement area. The church officially closed in March after the Diocese of London cited declining attendance and roughly $500,000 in needed repairs, such as a new roof, new siding, new windows, and water damage. Canada's main stock index ended higher today, led by the basic materials sector. In Toronto, the TSX gained 360 points, while on the U.S. markets were closed for Memorial Day. The Canadian dollar added a modest 0.02 of a cent. On gold and oil markets were normally, quote, were also closed. Doctors warn about a surge of menopause misinformation online. Coming up, the red flags women should watch out for.
Let's take a look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Sebastian Luke for looking up, capturing the sky in this great snapshot. Just ahead, will sunny and warmer than seasonal weather be in store for the rest of the week? My forecast is coming up with the answer.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app. From moment to moment, things change.
Mayday, mayday! We need more crews at this location.
CTV News Windsor.ca is Windsor's #1 source for online news. Watch every story from wherever you are the moment it happens. Plus exclusive content and must-see viewer video. Don't miss a moment. Windsor's leading online news source, CTV News Windsor.ca.
It's just getting warmer and warmer out there. Gary joins me again for an extended look at the forecast. And Gary, I feel like I'm smiling more and more. You know how much I love the warmer weather.
Indeed I do. And it's going to be a warm week. It was cloudy to start, but the sunshine has dominated. That shot was closer to about 9:15, 9:20 a.m. By about 10:30 in Windsor, Essex, and much of the surrounding area. It was bright and sunny. In fact, it was clear for a good hour. Then we got into some high-level cirrus, but some sunshine as well. So it's been a mixture of sun and cloud with warm temperatures, close to 25 to 26 degrees Celsius, the high today. Low temperatures through the overnights have been above seasonal as well, so we're about 3 or 4 degrees above the norms for both the highs and lows expected. Air quality has been decent today again. Temperatures are a bit cooler in Chatham-Kent, closer to about 18 to 19 degrees Celsius. That's 64 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 at the airport in Windsor. That's 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, a mixture of sun and cloud as we head towards dusk. Humidex really not much of an issue. It feels like 27 in Windsor, about 22 in Chatham-Kent. It is warm across the prairies, 27 in Regina. Winnipeg's at 26. Cooler in northern Ontario, 11 degrees in Thunder Bay. Meanwhile, Toronto's at 22. We're in the low 20s as well. Not much to see here except for the rain that is pushed well across the Atlantic or mid-Atlantic states, right? Northeast, and anywhere behind me has seen some steady rains today. You'll see the clearing as the ridge of high pressure is going to keep things relatively fair and quiet for the most part. We're not likely to see a significant rain event over the next 24 hours, and that could be extended. More on that in just a moment. Tonight, we are sunny through to dusk, 20 degrees at 8 o'clock, 17 at 10 under mostly a clear sky, clear through midnight to start things off Tuesday morning, and a balmy 14. And then it just gets, well, sunny and warmer. Take a look at our Intercarousel 7-day forecast. 29 and sunny tomorrow. High UV all this week projected, so protect yourself. Wednesday, 28. Mostly mixture of sun and cloud. And then sunny Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Fair on Monday. The average temperature this week is close to 25.4. So there you have it. Very sunny spring week in store.
If you're covered under the Canadian Dental Care Plan, time is running out to review your benefits. Members have until June 1st to prove they still qualify for the federal program, including filing their 2025 tax returns and meeting income requirements. The plan is available to Canadians without private dental coverage, whose adjustment family income is under $90,000. Anyone who misses the renewal deadline will lose coverage June 30th and must submit a new application to get back in. The federal government warns there could be a gap in coverage during the reapproval process, and any dental costs during that time will not be reimbursed. An online search for the word menopause now triggers an avalanche of hits, but that leaves many women trying to sort out what's true and what's not. CTV Geneviève Beauchemin has more on those trying to help.
A web of ads, information, money-grabbing scams, misinformation about menopause has popped up online. This after online searches for the word menopause have surged since 2022.
I find my patients, first of all, they're seeking information, which is a good thing.
Dr. Lana Lega says it's no longer the taboo it once was. Take, for instance, this member of Quebec's National Assembly publicly acknowledging she had a hot flash. But online chatter about the change, as it was once called, comes with a large dose of bad medicine.
It can be very frustrating, for sure, because it's overwhelming amount of information, and it's impossible to refute it all point by point.
And some women pay for useless, perhaps even potentially harmful so-called cures. An app developed in Quebec says it aims to try to sort fact from fiction.
I grabbed a snapshot from the Instagram ad, and it explained to me what was the skinny on that.
Nathalie Bélanger co-founded Ask Alina, an AI menopause mentor. It's trained, says Bélanger, on a subset of verified menopause content.
We also have some peer discussion groups. So this is women speaking with other women.
The app, inspired in part by Bélanger's menopause journey, launched last year.
I feel that I could have done more in my career if I'd had better support. I want women to really feel their best as they're going through this really big transformational time in their lives. Yeah, that's why I do it.
Dr. Lega advises women not to just turn online for help, but to book an appointment with a healthcare provider.
There are treatments that are evidence-based, that are safe, and that can be provided to reduce the suffering and the symptoms of menopause.
Experts say women have to look closely at online information, be skeptical, but also that they will continue to advocate for better research into women's health. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Unlimited car wash passes suddenly shut off without warning. Why it happens and how can you keep it from happening to you? Unlimited car wash passes promise all-you-can-clean convenience. Pay one monthly or seasonal fee and wash your vehicles as often as you'd like. But some drivers are discovering the fine print can leave them high and dry. Here's Pat Foran.
If you like to keep a clean vehicle, Petro-Canada will sell you a season's pass that will let you use the car wash every day. Voutran of Newmarket bought a 180-day season car wash pass for $490.
One of the ways to keep our car nice and clean and, basically preventing rusting from the road salt in the wintertime.
The season's pass gets a lot of use at his house. There are 4 cars in Tran's family, but he says it's allowed under the pass's terms and conditions.
We use it within the family, the same household, same address, 4 cars, and there was nowhere in the term condition that you can only wash 1 car.
He still had 80 days left when his season's pass quit working.
They canceled my car because I used multiple devices for the same car wash.
We were halfway of the usage of the card when suddenly the card was suspended.
Shirin Abdul Karimi of Thornhill also had her 90-day pass canceled that she paid $270 for. She said the pass was only on one smartphone. She and her husband took turns washing their cars each day.
I think it's very unfair because we didn't do anything wrong.
Petro-Canada says the pass is for 1 wash per day, but in its terms and conditions, it says the card can only be loaded onto 1 smartphone. Petro-Canada told CTV News, car wash season passes may only be downloaded to 1 device. Users found to be in violation were sent a cancellation email. However, after reviewing usage on these cards, we determined the season's passes were incorrectly flagged and have reinstated them. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A groundbreaking ceremony today at the new site of the Ontario Science Centre. The Premier and other officials took part in the ceremony. The start of construction marks a major milestone in the Ford government's controversial decision to relocate the Science Centre from Flemington Park to the waterfront. The province released this video of the design plans for the new Science Centre complex at Ontario Place. The province says that construction could be complete as soon as 2029.
The hilarious Daniel Tosh brings his My First Farewell Tour to Caesars Windsor on Thursday, June 25th. Enter online at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Daniel Tosh at Caesars Windsor plus a $200 gift card.
This is your CTV Windsor, our community calendar. Show your support to give hope and fund research to find a cure for cystic fibrosis. Join the walk to make cystic fibrosis history at their new location, Faro Riverside Miracle Park. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. Now, you have more for us from Windsor City Council with a decision regarding that 6-story development, this on Howard Avenue.
That's right. As we reported earlier in the show, Council has approved a new development on Howard Avenue near Holborn Street, despite concerns from residents that the corridor is already strained by traffic, aging sewers, and rapid growth. City staff say the project meets planning requirements and that existing infrastructure can handle the added demand. planned. But one councillor warns approval doesn't answer the bigger question, how much more growth Howard Avenue can take without major upgrades. Council also passed a motion directing staff to review Howard Avenue's infrastructure needs, including sewer capacity and pedestrian safety, in future budget planning.
There's more development opportunities that are going to be coming forward. But we're already at the point, just from the sanitary sewer perspective, in this report, we're getting close to capacity on the sanitary side. Imagine if there was an issue with respect to the sanitary sewers along Howard. We don't want to see that happen.
You can find details on other developments that came out of today's council meeting at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have a story with the results from a recent traffic blitz.
Yes, Windsor police say it led to 270 enforcement actions across the city. The traffic enforcement unit focused on dangerous driving behaviors between Monday and Friday last week. One person was charged with stunt driving for going 95 kilometers per hour in a 50 zone, and 6 tickets were handed out for children not being properly secured in vehicles. And in our social spotlight, no foul play with this rescue.
Oh my gosh.
These little ducklings slipped into a sewer while on a walk, and the man who called firefighters to assist in the rescue noticed Mom running around, quacking around the culvert, asking for people for help. After a few minutes in a bucket, the little ones were reunited with their mama and went on their way.
You know what, we cover, a lot of the great work that Windsor firefighters do when it comes to fighting fires, but these are the videos we really do want to see.
I sure hope that people can send us more duck rescues.
And I know all the stations are watching right now, so the next time you guys rescue some ducklings, please send it in to us.
That's right.
Okay, and aside from that, if our viewers have cute video like this, how can they send it to us?
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll send it to newsnow@bellmedia.ca and text it to 10400.
And that's what's happening now. Thank you, Melanie. When we return, a 14-year-old spelling phenom takes another shot at a national title. The 5-hour-a-day study habit driving his dream.
Hey, that's my backyard again.
Well, gorgeous.
Right?
Views of the sky there. Listen, last week I know you were off enjoying yourself.
Oh, yeah.
But listen, my kids' soccer practices were canceled both days because of that rain and thunderstorm.
You're telling me this because...
So this week,
I mean, I'm
a lot of people are eager to get back to the field.
Dude, I had something to do. I wasn't even here. And, of course, I'm just the messenger. I'm sorry that took place, but if soccer is the deal or any outdoor activities whatsoever, this week looks good. Lots of sunshine, and I'm anticipating that temperatures will average about 4 to 5 degrees above seasonal between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent. UV index is very high tomorrow, so I caution everyone at all times when you're exposed, your skin, right, to the sun, doesn't matter what season, protect yourself, right? Sunscreen, sunblock, and wear your sunglasses too. You don't want to cause some problems with vision down the road as well.
Yep. Okay, Gary, thank you. Travis, you're on for us tonight. Now, Diageo's been closed for a couple of months now, and that story just really isn't over yet.
No, as CTV News reported previously, the company came to an agreement with the province as it pulled out of Amherstburg, keeping its products on LCBO shelves while contributing $500,000 to the town. But tonight, council is debating who controls that money after a report suggested Diageo could have the final say on how it's spent. We'll bring you those details on the discussion tonight at 11.
Okay, thank you, Travis. Finally, tonight, a Windsor spelling whiz is hoping third time is a charm. 14-year-old Isaac Brogan is in the U.S. this week for the Scripps and National Spelling Bee. CTV's Robert Lothian caught up with him ahead of his third and final shot at the championship.
A 3-time regional spelling bee champ, 14-year-old Isaac Brogan knows there's always more words to learn.
Well, the dictionary is really big. There's about just under 600,000 words, so I'm always learning new words. I'm always discovering something new.
So far, he's discovered the right ones.
Correct, and congratulations.
In March, Brogan spelled his way into a third regional spelling bee victory. His reward, another shot at the Scripps National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. this week.
I'm really nervous. I have put a lot of effort. I know that a lot of other people there are also going to be putting in a lot of effort, but really it's all just luck-based.
The nationally televised event is nothing new for the Maranatha Christian Academy student. He waltzed to the semifinals in 2023 and participated again in 2024.
I've had to realize, like, there's a good chance I'm not going to win because only one person out of 250 wins each year. And just realizing that my chances of winning aren't good, but I'm still going to put in my effort so I can make my chances at least better.
This is Brogan's last shot to beat out a hive of opponents and win the title.
I've kind of been envisioning that for like the last 3 years. Yeah, just holding up the trophy. I've always wanted that.
Studying up to 5 hours a day on his laptop, Brogan doesn't just spell his answers, he types them.
When I type it out, like, I don't need to like try to piece the word together. I just remember it like it's my name.
Approaching his final trips to the stage, more than anything, Brogan says he's thankful for those who supported him along the way.
Just knowing, like, I might not be the best, but I can still be good. That's what's kept me going.
Brogan's first test comes Tuesday during the preliminaries. His goal is to spell his way into the televised finals on Thursday. Robert Lothian, CTV News, Windsor.
Well, he's one of the best in our eyes, at least. We're all rooting for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember one of my first stories when I came to CTV Windsor was when he went there 2 years ago, I think it was, for the first time, and he's all grown up now.
I know, very much grown up now.
Man, very bright young man. I have to say, I always enjoyed reading the thesaurus as well as the dictionary as a young person. So, yeah, I could have perhaps did pretty well on the circuit myself.
Perhaps. I love the strategy he uses, though, with typing and seeing him just being up there. Pretty cool. Yeah. On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Gary and I will be back with your only late local newscast at 11.
Good night.